Hi everyone, my name is Neva Bostic, and I'm here interviewing Alessandra Alves, my roommate, former club hockey player, avid puppy lover, criminal justice major. Did I miss anything specific?
No.
Got them all? And this podcast is part of the University of New Haven Welcome Project, a collection of stories about diversity, inclusion, and belonging. So what's up, Sandy? How you doing today?
I'm doing great. How are you, Neva?
I'm good. I forgot to mention Alessandra. She likes to go by Sandy, right?
I do, yes.
So I probably have to explain this, but Sandy and I live together off campus here at the University of New Haven with how many people?
Eight. Excluding us, I think.
10 of us all together.
Yeah. Give or take a couple.
Yeah. And Emily plays softball. I do track. Everybody does baseball. And Sandy...
It's the only non-athletic person.
So yeah, this is what this podcast is about. We're going to be talking about Sandy's life here at the University of New Haven and how not being an athlete doesn't mean that she is different or inferior. It means that she is bomb just the way she is. So, you're welcome. So do you ever feel uncomfortable or like left out when people are like, oh, Sandy doesn't do anything, but you do stuff?
I think it was more like freshman year when I was new and people were hyping up varsity sports a lot more and I wasn't part of it. So I did feel left out and kind of upset, and I feel like I wouldn't fit in, but now I don't really care.
Do you even know, what does the word NARP stand for?
It stands for non-athletic regular person. Just anybody not on a varsity sport. So yeah.
I never really knew what it was. I just heard people going around like, oh, they're a NARP. And it sounded like so...
negative.
Yeah.
So negative.
And judgmental. And I'm just like...
I always feel judged by the varsity people.
Is it like hurtful?
It was in the beginning. Yeah, definitely before I didn't care. But it definitely hurt because I did play sports a lot and throughout my entire life. So I didn't feel any different than any other person at this school. I just didn't feel like doing college sports.
Yeah. So let's get into that a bit. So you grew up in Massachusetts,
yes.
Right? You had a pond right by your house and you used to skate on it. You grew up playing hockey and you did figure skating. So go into that a little bit. Explain it.
So I started figure skating when I was 5 years old and I had to quit going into college. I wanted to focus on academics. So I did that for 13 years, competed, went up to almost the highest level possible. And then I started ice hockey when I was 11, and I do club hockey here, so I still am in that sport, still doing it. Been doing that for 10 years. I also did varsity lacrosse and field hockey for all 4 years of high school. So I was pretty active. Still am, but...
So why did you ever consider it in high school, like, oh, I'm going to play in college, or like, did you ever think about getting recruited, or were you?
I was actually in the recruiting process for hockey. That was my favorite sport. So I definitely wanted to do it in college. Then I got accepted here, realized that I wanted criminal justice and I would rather do criminal justice and have a very good just have a good academic career here at the university rather than play hockey, because I knew they didn't have a varsity sport for hockey. So I chose to give up hockey and pursue my academics.
And that's huge. And I don't think anybody else really realizes that, because if you think about it, everybody goes to college for one reason and one reason only, right? To get your degree and to move on and get a job and have a successful, happy life, right?
Yeah.
But I think a lot of people have it in their head like, oh man, I'm going to be a college athlete. I'm going to be all this and all that. And what do you think happens to them after graduation?
Nothing. The teeny little percent that makes it into professionals, go them. But most of them just stop playing right after college. So I just would rather pursue my time and use my time more wisely doing academics.
Yeah.
And I do still hockey. We used to play all the time. So COVID kind of ruined it. But we used to play a lot. So it's not like I was any different.
Yeah, exactly. How many, like, before COVID happened, like, how many practices did you have a week?
My first semester in the fall was pretty much their first time like running the club. So we didn't really have too many practices, but come spring, we had about 2 practices every week. We had just as many as the boys club. They're more developed than we are, but even they were like, they allowed me and a couple of other girls to join their practices and skate with them. So I didn't feel any different. We had lots of practices. We did off ice training. So we did workouts together. It was great.
And what was your role on the hockey team? Like, were you, like, I forget what you were.
I was a captain originally, and then as other seniors had graduated, I moved on to becoming match secretary as well. And this upcoming year, I might become treasurer.
And I mean, if you think about it, like, there's not much of a difference between that and playing, like, some levels of college hockey.
Yeah. Even Sacred Hearts Club hockey plays really good hockey. It's difficult, it's challenging, it's competitive. It's right up there with other divisions. So just because it's labeled club doesn't mean it's not good.
And I've seen like some club sports play and they're like phenomenal. And I'm like, oh,
yeah.
wait, okay. I'm like, hold on a second. I feel like they deserve a little more credit
recognition. Yeah, they really don't. Club sports definitely get just shit on. Yeah, if I can swear. Sorry.
Yes, you can swear.
Just get shit on.
What do you do here at the University of New Haven? Criminal justice, right? Like, what's your concentration? Like, get into that a little.
My concentration is investigative studies. So I just am learning about lots of just the broad idea of like policing and criminal law, criminal procedures. I currently have an internship set up with Homeland Security for this summer. So I hope to pursue that after I graduate.
So what's your favorite thing to do here at the University of New Haven outside of school, criminal justice?
I'm just like spending time with friends, and we get to hang out all the time. So we do have so many roommates. So it's nice when we all get together and we go on a hike and go out to eat together. It's really nice.
Was there ever any specific moment where somebody made you feel really bad about not doing a sport, or like called you a narp and it just made you really angry? Was there like a story, like a moment?
I don't think so. I honestly heard the term narp when I became roommates with you guys, so I hadn't ever heard of it, but I did just feel like the staring and like the, I don't even know what's the word, just judgment, like from other varsity people, like especially coming in freshman year trying to make friends. I had a roommate who was on varsity soccer, and she was so sweet to me, but I just noticed everybody else on her team would just not want to talk to me, even though I was roommates with one of them. They just had no care to try to talk to me just because I wasn't on a sport. So just that over and over and over again. So
has it ever stopped? Has it gotten better since your freshman year?
I don't think it ever stops. I just don't pay attention to it anymore. I know that I'm just as capable as they are, and academically and athletically, so it doesn't stop me anymore.
And if you think about it, in some ways you're ahead too. Because
yeah.
Most people like me, or not like me, like
You're very smart. You are very smart.
So are you. I forgot to mention Sandy has a really high GPA in criminal justice because
that's all I do is just study.
But a lot of people I've seen, especially like our friends, they don't really think about anything in the future.
Yeah.
And they just think about what's going on now and how they can excel at their sport now, but 3-4 years from now,
they're not going to be playing sports anymore.
No.
It's just, no, I understand the commitment that like student athletes make and how much time they devote to their sports, but it does come down to it where if you're not amazing and you're not D1, you're not going to the pros. Like, I understand like that it's awesome to continue your sport through college, but I don't know, academics just, and I know that like they're doing well in academics too and everything, but it's just different, just totally different with not having sports. And I just feel like I get so much more out of academics.
Yeah, and you put academics first, and you have this internship this summer, and honestly, people shouldn't be judging you or anybody else for being ahead of them just because they don't wear a jersey.
I think they do that a lot just because they're like, oh, she's a narp. She doesn't do sports, so she has all this free time, so that's why she does well. Not because I put my academics first, because I have this goal in life to do well. Like, it's not anything like that. It's she has the free time. She's not good enough because she doesn't do sports, so that's why she does. It's just stupid stuff like that.
And if you think about it, you don't have that much free time.
Yeah.
You don't. Whenever I'm with Sandy and we're hanging out, she always has her laptop out. She's doing some kind of homework, I am telling you.
I just get ahead. Just stress over it and look at the same piece of homework for 8 hours.
What keeps you motivated through all of that?
I honestly just think that having our friends that we do have now, and like my roommates, have helped me understand that being a Narp is okay and that I am just as good as everybody else. And again, once we're done with college, we're all going to be on the same level. We're all not athletic people or we don't do sports anymore, so we're just all on the same page. Plus, I don't care about competing with them. I know what my goals are and how I want to achieve them, so I'm going to get there. No one's going to stop me, even if they call me a Narp.
Well, that was an amazing way to end this, Sandy. That was super motivational. Thank you so much. I'm Neva Bostic. Thank you so much, Sandy, for coming onto my podcast for my Telling Digital Stories class. Yes. It really means a lot for you to take your time take the time out of your day.
Don't worry.
This podcast is part of the University of New Haven Welcome Project, a collection of stories about diversity, inclusion, and belonging. To listen or watch more projects, visit newhavenwelcome.com. Thank you again, Sandy.
Yeah, of course.
And thank you everybody for listening.